Alright, hello, welcome back. My name's Goonsack Steve, and today we've got another review for you guys today. This one will be of the Sideshow Predator Maquette in collaboration with Stan Winston Studios. There have been a lot of Predator, Jungle Hunter statues since this piece was made, but none have triumphed. This guy is still one of the grail pieces that Predator collectibles such as myself sought to get, and for good reason, the Stan Winston name. This is basically a 3D scan of the Stan Winston statue in both his museum, and I believe Arnold Schwarzenegger also has one in his house. So it's basically as close as you're going to get. There is a contender obviously with Prime 1's 1/3 coming out, but as for a quarter scale piece, nothing beats it. I managed to get this guy for a ridiculous price. I bought him from a local seller, who not only delivered both of these pieces to me, talking about this guy and the Maquette of the Predator. He did both of them for practically the price of what a Maquette alone goes for. So I got a Maquette and this guy for basically the price of the Maquette, and I got it delivered to me, which was awesome. So shout out to Wade if you do end up watching this, buddy. But yeah, awesome bloke to deal with. Can't believe I have both this guy and the Maquette in my collection. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the box first, as per the reviews where I do have the original art box, and from there we'll have a deeper dive into this guy and talk about all the little nitty gritties and all that jazz and the different head sculpts. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, as I said before, here we have the box in all of its glory. As you guys can see, it is the Stan Winston Maquette exclusive, as indicated by the Sideshow exclusive sticker on that side of the box. This box does take a lot of influence from the Predator's thermal vision on pretty much all sides of the box, whether it's top, bottom, left, right, back, front. All of it looks like this. It's a lot of reds, oranges, yellows with hints of green and blue. As we can see some of Dutch's group or squad. I think there's Billy and Dutch. Not sure who the guy on the left is off the top of my memory, but it does look like Billy and Dutch when they're looking in the trees. And obviously there's some description there if you wanted to pause it and have a read. Completely up to you guys. But yeah, I thought I'd show the box first, which will kind of be the tradition in my reviews. I like to show the boxes because a lot of people don't show them. And I don't believe there's ever been anyone that's properly given a good look at the box when it comes to this guy right here. So I'll do a bit more of a zoom in on parts of it. The front of the box actually has some decloaking effect, along with some of the Yautja language, or Predator language, whatever word suits you guys. But this box is absolutely awesome. Sideshow have always done incredibly good with their boxes. I wish a lot of the other companies use less of the stock images that you get when you pre-order and actually put a little bit more effort into it. But again, as long as ultimately the statue is really good, that's all that matters. But again, I'll give you guys a little bit of a better look at all the sides of the box. Get a bit more of a close-up on that text, since some of you might want to read it. Feel free to pause on that if you wish to, because there is a shit ton there. Oh yeah, there's a picture of the prototype with good old Billy's quote of There's something out there, Major, waiting for us, and it ain't no man. We're all gonna die. But yeah, awesome box. Definitely up there as one of my favorite boxes I have owned, including this is throughout Hot Toys figures and all that. Hot Toys do unbelievable boxes for those that have delved into them. So, in my opinion, despite this box being a tiny bit banged up, like it's not perfect, the design of this box is absolutely awesome. So, with that being said, and without further ado, let's have a look at the big bad boy himself. Okay guys, here we have him in all of his glory. And as you guys can see, he is absolutely awesome. The colors and shines of the metal, even the skin, are absolutely awesome. And he's actually glossy, unlike a lot of the newer Preds, which have a bit of that dry look going on. But I thought we'd start down here with the base, so we could focus more on the statue in a minute. But for a statue that was, I believe, released back in 2007, 2008, roughly same sort of time as the Maquette, this guy is holding up absolutely awesomely. The base has a lot of moss highlights along, I guess, the big log there, and a bit of the smaller branches and all of that on the floor. There are also some puddles, which we will get to in a second. You guys can see now starting to reveal themselves towards the front of the base. Quite a cool water effect. Nowhere near the likes of the Maquette's water effect, and especially Prime 1's, which just looks absolutely phenomenal. Has like literally fish and everything inside Prime 1's. But again, for I believe the first piece to do it, because it did do it before the Maquette, it's a very good little attempt at it. We'll go further up the piece now. A lot of the accurate battle damages and all that to his armor are here, including the leather skirt, which has been nicely worn. I'm not sure if that is real leather or if it is a fake leather of some sort. If anyone in the comments know, that'd be greatly appreciated, because I honestly do not have a clue. His bones are also really cool to see. They are a little bit oversized, especially the skull bandolier that we'll get to in a second. But again, for a 15-year-old piece, it's quite a ridiculously good looking attempt. And here we have that bandolier that I do believe is a little bit oversized. But again, it looks wicked. I do wonder what he got the bandolier from, especially one being that size. But again, it's a wicked little, well, big piece of skull memorabilia that he carries around. Again, with the accurate blast points on his armor. Close up at his glove and hand. One thing I'm a little bit disappointed on is the fact that his wrist gauntlet doesn't light up. A lot of the more recent pieces, such as the Maquette, even though that's not much more recent, but it is compared to this, and stuff from Prime 1, almost everything has that light up wrist gauntlet. So I do wish they had that, but again, does have the light up biomask. Unfortunately, I don't keep any batteries in my statues. And I did kind of forget to put some in for this review, but I tend to not keep them in my statues with the, I guess, caution of I don't want anything eroding away and ruining the internals of the statue. Another downside to this statue, which very few companies do anyway, is the wrist blades themselves aren't metal. They're just pretty normal plastic, nothing special. But one of the things I will praise this statue on is its biomask. It is absolutely ridiculous how good this biomask looks, and that's, to me, this statue is a exclusive or bust. You do need the two heads. But with the edition size of 300, it is incredibly rare to find the exclusive that comes with the biomask. One of the things I do love about the biomask, however, is the fact that it was, well, this entire piece actually was 3D scanned of the original statue they have in the Stan Winston Museum. So it is 100% accurate to Stan Winston's standards. Like, yes, there are some things that aren't accurate, like to the movie suit, but to the statue that Stan Winston has at his museum, and I think even Arnold Schwarzenegger has one in his house, you can't get any more accurate than the stuff that the company themselves produced. The dreads are also a really, for its time, step forward. A lot of companies back in the day used sculpted dreads, which is even prevalent on their life-size bust. So to have individually sculpted dreads, this is a very, I guess, it set the standard for everything to come, like the Maquette and all the newer Predator pieces, which do have a lot more fine-tuned dreads, but nevertheless, it's cool to have. And one thing a lot of statues do wrong, which there's only 3 that have done right, this piece, the HCG biomask, and the upcoming 1/3 scale Prime 1, is the lenses. The lenses on this guy are reflective, just like they were in the movie. And a lot of companies overlook that, which is a huge fail in my opinion, because it truly does make the helmet look so much better. The plasma caster is a little bit oversized, but it is very detailed, including the med kit. I know there aren't any companies that have done it yet, and it would be cool to see, but it would have been cool. Ooh, almost bumped the camera there. Would have been cool to see a removable med kit, especially on the newer pieces, such as the 1/3 Prime 1. And I believe that is mainly it. I'll give you guys a good look at his wrist gauntlet. But yeah, this piece is, it's a weird looking pose, like for most people. A lot of people have come to like it. It looks absolutely amazing from certain angles, but there are people that believe he looks a bit like a surfer, but I really do like this piece. Not sure if it will stay in my collection forever, like some pieces I know will, but it is an awesome piece. And one that, especially if you collect quarter scales, is incredibly hard to beat. I do believe this still is the king of quarter scale Predators. The big game Jungle Hunter that Prime 1 just released, in my opinion, is incredibly disappointing. The sculpt probably trumps this, but unfortunately the paint apps let that thing majorly down. Like, if a 15-year-old piece like this can have better paint apps, it's a tad embarrassing. And yeah, and it's not even really quarter scale anyway. It's almost a 1/3 scaled piece because of, I guess, Prime 1 in their cookery. But this piece, as it stands right now, is still the king of quarter scale Predator statues, in my opinion. I do eventually plan on probably going all 1/3, since there is a 1/3 City Hunter coming. But again, if you're after a quarter scale Predator, you can't beat this. But what I will do now is I will switch the heads, and from there we will give the unmasked bio a look. So let's get on to that, shall we? As you guys can see, here he is in all of his glory. And this guy is absolutely awesome. The sculpt work is basically spot on. The only downside, in my opinion, is that his two inner teeth above the jaw are a bit too large. The eyes are pretty well painted considering how small they are. I don't believe they're glass. And the mouth work is really good, again, considering that this is a 15-year-old piece. Crown itself is really well done. It is a tiny bit red, or it's like a maroni brown type deal. But again, they've done a wonderful job on this statue, and anyone that wants a quarter scale Predator, this is the one to get. And if you prefer the unmasked heads, you're in luck, because all 1,300 of these, or was it? I think it might be 750 regular, 1,000 or 300 exclusives. But all editions come with the unmasked head. But yeah, I think I will leave it at that. This guy, as the Dutch Schaefer once said, is one ugly mofo. Camera seems to be going all over the joint in terms of focus right now. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Not sure what statue I'll review next. Completely subjective, in all honesty. If you guys follow me on Instagram and all that other stuff, and know me on the Freaks Forum and all that jazz, you know any other statues I do own and you want to see those in particular next, just chuck us a, chuck a comment below and we'll look at making that one next. But as I said before, thank you for watching. Peace.